So in this video, I'll be giving an update in regards to the attestation letter from the province Ontario. This video is also for those that are planning to apply for admission in Ontario, either for fall 2024 or for January of 2025. I know a lot of you have been waiting for updates as to when is it going to start, and then when are some of the colleges, going to start issuing attestation letter. But what the province have done initially on the 27th of March 2024 was to give a bit of a breakdown as to what they are or who they are going to prioritize for these attestation letter. Of course, they are not just interested, I know you're going to pay tuition to these colleges or universities and all that, but these provinces are kind of thinking ahead that if these students come, international students come in and stay, then how are they going to benefit us as a province? Okay, so in the light of that, they've mentioned that they are going to be prioritizing those programs that are going to fill in, that are in demand. Okay, those programs that are going to fill in demand jobs. And the reason is because there's a lot of labor shortage and labor market needs. So they want to prioritize courses or programs in these colleges of universities in Ontario that will be able to meet their needs. So what they've done is that they've actually working with a lot of universities and colleges and even different private and public sectors, just to kind of have an understanding of the different jobs in demand. It's a lot of stakeholder engagement that kind of took place. This is the reason why it took a lot of time, because they have to really prioritize what exactly they need, okay? Because it's like I said, it's not just about you paying tuition and then getting your money. The most important thing that if you finish and you stay, which of course, there are a lot of, international student streams and PR opportunities available in different provinces. So they know that quite a lot of percent of international students are going to stay. Now, what they've mentioned is that there are three major points that they've mentioned. Number one is that they are going to allocate about 96% of all study permit applications to public colleges and university. Okay, now the other 4% is going to be allocated to the Ontario Language School, private universities, and other institutions. Now, surprisingly, which I think is a little bit harsh, that career colleges will not receive any application. So this means that for those of you that have already gotten admission into career colleges and maybe you've already paid your tuition deposits, I will advise you to see if you can get a refund from the college, okay? And I wonder, because there's no option, right? I think CIMT, I think, should be included among the career colleges and other career colleges in Canada, okay, in Ontario specifically. Other ones are not the issue in Ontario. So make sure you check with your school. Just send an email to your school if you apply for career college right away. Or if you apply for career college, just send a message to any of these, any of the colleges, and inquire, are you guys still going to be, are you guys getting any form of allocation for the provincial attestation letter? If not, then it probably will be better for you to get your refund, okay? Now, they've actually mentioned that they are going to be prioritizing certain programs. Now, based on the recommendations that they've given, these are the courses that you should be focusing on. So this also applies to those that have already gotten admission and are waiting for attestation letter. So which means, technically, not everybody that already have an admission, not everybody that already, have an admission will actually get the attestation letter, okay? Now, there are about 4 to 5 different categories that they've explained or expatiated. One of them is going to be in the trades area, the skilled trade area. So what I would do, I'll give you a list of courses in these different categories, just to give an idea. Now, Whatever list I'm giving is not an exhaustive list. There are other programs that may not be included in the list. Number one, skill trade. Number two, if you're in the health, human resources area, then if you're in the STEM category, in hospitality and under child care. Okay, so what I would do, I'll talk about some of the different courses that you might think, might consider applying for in this area. And if you've already gotten admission in an area that is not related to these parts, you can still reach out to your school. Not you can, you should reach out to your school and see if they actually have, if they're still going to be issuing you attestation letter based on the course that you applied for. Now, I'm eventually seeing Humber College. Actually, I've seen someone from Humber College have already gotten, his attestation letter, and the course the person applied for was mechanical, technician, right? So he's already in the STEM, in the skills trade area, and of course, the person have quite an upper hand. Now, let me just give a bit of insight as to some of the college programs that are involved in the skilled trade. The reason why they are doing this is because not a lot of people actually do all of this skilled trade. And if you really come to think of it, these skills trade, they are actually one of the backbone of any economy, okay? Number one is going to be electrician, right? Any kind of electrical engineering, electrical diploma, you'll find anything carpentry, welding, plumbing, technician, HVAC technician, that's also good. Automotive technician, construction engineer, industrial maintenance technician, heavy equipment operator, pipe fitter, anything that has to do with skills, okay, where you're mostly going to be doing a lot of practical work. And there are a lot of these trade schools that are, specific trade schools, but there are a lot of all of these colleges, that is public colleges, that also offer trade programs. So if you do have an experience in that area, they should consider applying for any of these, skilled trade area. If you are not sure, whatever school you are interested in, you can just select, based on trade courses and see what programs that they offer. The one is going to be the health human resources, so some courses involved there are nursing, right? Nursing, especially licensed practical nursing, that's a big one. And then if you're doing medical laboratory technician, that's also good. Anything dental hygiene, radiologic technology, pharmacy technician is also part of the health area. Health information management, office administration, health, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assistance, surgical technology, they are all part of the health-related area. So what you can always do for this one is, if you want to apply for any health-related course, when you go to the college, what you can do is just select based on the health faculty, and then under the health, you can see all of the courses there, and you can select anyone that matches what you're looking at for. The other one is going to be the STEM area, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Things like anything software, computer engineering, any type of engineering, you're good. Mechanical, electrical, civil engineering, data science, I don't know, maybe data analytics somehow, software engineering, anything biotechnology, chemical engineering, environmental engineering, they are all included in this area. Okay, so like I said, you can always search by the faculty of either science or technology or engineering. It has to be involved, it has to match or fit into this category. The next one is going to be the hospitality area. This is an emerging area, and it is something a lot of provinces put a lot of emphasis on, especially for example, for the province of Alberta, they have a specific category for those that are in the hospitality area. So it's a very big area. Anything hotel management, culinary arts, hospitality management, event management, food and beverage management, tourism, resort, travel, hospitality administration, they are all part of the hospitality area, and they're going to prioritize that. The last one is going to be the child care, which I think is pretty important. This is where you have the early childhood education, child development, child psychology, child care administration, infant and toddler care, special education, developmental service worker, a family and child services, any of it that has to do with childcare, you should be good. Okay, you should be good. So, for those that have applied for business programs, okay, global business management, international business, business marketing, any of these programs, I would say just watch out and see if you will still be able to get attestation letter from your school. Like I said, they're going to prioritize those that are going to give attestation letter to. It doesn't mean those other people will not get the attestation. It may be, down. Maybe they will focus on those other guys. If they not have anything left, then they cannot give to these other people. Maybe do it, especially business, marketing, sales, for the most part. Okay, so what I would personally suggest, if you are planning to apply for fall 2024, if you haven't applied for admission, I would say just stay away from those business area for now. Okay, and let's gather data and see those that have maybe gotten for May, if they're able to get attestation letter for those that are doing business and all that, then it means it's still going to be good, because it's not just applying for this course. Okay, you have to also think about what your profile matches, right? Because even though, if, for example, you're doing engineering, you can't just come and apply for healthcare because it's an in-demand area, right? So you have to still for something pretty close to what you're doing. And I always tell people, how do you justify? Look at the last 5 years of your experience and think about what course do I need to do now to help me do my job better, okay? If you have a business or whatever, that's going to help you get better, right? If you're working as an employee, what are you going to apply for now that will help you do your job better? So that's the best way to select a course, because you have to think about justification for a course before you even do anything, application, right? Because I see cases where people just apply for admission and they say, oh, this is the only option available. That is the reason why I apply for this course. Not necessarily the best option. You don't apply for a course because, oh no, every other admission is closed and this is the only one available, because you are going to have a hard time really convincing the visa officers as to the choice of your program. Okay, that's going to be about it. Now, what I wanted to do in the comment section, okay, put in the college, the program that you applied for, and the start date. Put it in the comment section. Let's see if there are other people, and also if you've received your attestation letter or not. Just put it in the comment section. That way, we'll be able to track if people have gotten the attestation letter and which kinds of programs are getting attestation letter and which schools are issuing attestation letter. That's going to be about it. Now, someone sent me a message recently and kind of said, Peter, with all of these things going on, okay, is it something that I should consider if I still want to come to Canada? But before I answer that, there's another thing that the province of Ontario also mentioned, is that now, whatever study permit approval you had in 2023 as a college, okay, you will not be eligible to, whatever approvals or whatever enrollment that you got in 2023, you cannot exceed that level in this year. It's not possible. That's going to be the first thing. So for those colleges that do have a lot of admission being issued, that is probably going to reduce to a lot. Now, the other one thing they've mentioned is that something more like as a backup, okay, is that the ratio of international students cannot exceed 55% of the institution's 2023 first year domestic enrollment. So think about 2023, okay? If an institution had, like, let's say, 100 domestic enrollment, okay? Now, for this year, the level of international student will not be more than 55. will not be more than 55. Now, they've mentioned that this is exclusive of high demand areas. Okay, so they're always going to pay, put preference to high demand courses, but for some other courses, like I mentioned, they can still, for the most part, issue attestation letters. Really, for those of you that have already paid tuition deposits and all that, but just be monitoring the situation and see if there's anything that is going to be coming out. Now, they've also mentioned that French language enrollment will be prioritized as employers compete for workers with French language skills. So if you do have French proficiency, then try to include that in your admission so that, because you're already going to have, much more priority. Now, they are working closely with a lot of institutions to be able to see, how they go about this. Now, there is something that the province have actually done to help, some of these colleges and universities, because when they drop in the number of international students, there is also a drop in their revenue as well. Okay, so a lot of them actually got into a bit of an issue. Now, one of the things that they've mentioned is that it's important for these colleges and universities to have a guarantee that they have housing available for incoming students. So if you are going to be admitting 5,000 students, you should have at least a reasonable amount of percentage of student housing opportunities available for those students. And they've also mentioned that they are investing about $32 million in 2023 to 2024 academic section to support, a lot of these post-secondary institutions in the province of Ontario. And they're doing this by providing multiple grants to a lot of post-secondary institutions. Like, then I'll go back to what I was saying. If someone have asked me, is it even worth it? Okay, and considering the challenges, getting a job, getting PRO, is it really worth it going through all of this stress? And now that they're going to be reducing the number of applications, what is my faith? Now, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. Now, one of the advantages is that there are going to be less number of people that are applying for study permit overall. Okay, so which means that it may not necessarily affect your refusal to, your study permit refusal, because provided you've gotten the attestation letter, you've already been accounted for in that quarter. Okay, so it doesn't really necessarily mean that it's going to result to more and more study permit denial. Okay. And another thing, in terms of this job and all that, now it is maybe difficult for those that are coming on for study permit, right? If you're a student, depending on the city where you're located, if it's a city like where Conestoga is located, where you have tons of thousands, tens of thousands of international students, there may be a little bit of difficulty getting a job because there's just a lot. But if you come to other provinces, for a place like, Alberta, like Edmonton, I haven't really seen people complaining that much of jobs and all that. So think about that. And then in terms of getting a job when you graduate, not so much of a problem. There are lots of opportunity when you graduate. Okay, there are lots of opportunity when although it's still tough. There is nothing that is easy, but it is very possible. And the last one is going to be getting permanent residence. I've mentioned this a couple of times in my videos that it has gotten much more difficult getting a permanent residency in Canada. And if you are going to be focusing on the general category for the express entry, these days the scores are like 530, 520, 530, 540. Getting that score is really high even for someone that studied in Canada and have 1 year of experience. So maybe those that have like masters or 2-3 years of work experience and are single are still like in their 20s, early 20s, 25, 26, 27. Yeah, they may be able to meet that requirement for the permanent residency. But for the most part, a lot of people are just depending now on provincial nomination and maybe express entry in those particular provinces to be eligible for the permanent residency. And let me end with this. I always tell people, if they say they are going to streamline these study permit to only 10,000 people, tell yourself, I'm going to be among those 10,000 people that will get approval. Okay, so don't, because of all of this stress, say you're not going to be applied again. I can understand for those that are planning to come with family. Now you're not able to come with family, which is kind of, a bit tough, but that shouldn't deter you. I've talked about it in previous video that one person can apply. When you are now applying for permanent residence, you can include your family members. And if you can also do to apply for visiting visa for your spouse, and then they can join you. It doesn't affect children. You can apply for that sort of visiting visa for them. They are good. That's going to be it for this video. Like I mentioned, if you haven't left a comment in the comment section, just do well. Just write the name of the college where you've gotten admission into, the course, and the province. Of course, I mean, this video always talked about specifically about Ontario, but just put in if you are in any other province, if you've gotten attestation letter or not, put it in the comment section, and then let's just try to build a community and then get feedback from there. If you want to talk to me, you also want to talk to one-on-one, there's going to be a link in the description for my one-on-one mentorship. Definitely check it out and reach out. I'll be glad to help you and to provide one or two insights in your journey. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do it to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't liked this video, come on, what are you waiting for? Do it to hit that like button so whenever new videos are released, you will be the first person to get notified of my videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.